Okay, so I am audible now.
Yes, sir.
So good evening. Okay, so today our topic is complex number. It is a block 2, unit number 2. So today we have to discuss about complex number. It is another important chapters, and mostly one or two questions are coming in the exam. So before start, as usual, please open the camera should on. Okay, on the camera so that I can take a screenshot. Then we'll start the class. Okay, others should come. Anurag, then Ajay, Rahul, Devanil, please come on the camera. Those who are already joined, please open their camera.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Others, today I think students are very less. I mean, no face is showing. Why people are reluctant to come in the camera? Why camera is not on? Anshul Sharma, where are you? So okay, I think I take the snapshot. So let's join. So okay, I think I can go straight away to sharing mode. So if any question in between, you can may ask something. Have you gone through this complex number, that chapter? Okay, I think. So I can go to sharing mode and okay. So in this unit, you see the so far the natural number, normally some of the notation I have given you. Natural number normally are denoted by the n. Integers we are denoted by the z. Rational numbers we are denoted by the q, and real numbers are denoted by the r. So some of the things you should know. And I stands for the iota. It is a Greek name. Is equal to root over -1. That is a standard things you should remember. I is equal to root over -1, or we can say I square or iota square is equal to -1. If I square this I square, ultimately here is -1. That you have to keep in mind. Okay. Now coming to complex number. Now you have to study complex number. That is, you can say C. C stands for complex number. Italian mathematics, actually some background I have given how it has come. So just only see during there is some history is there, because when the mathematicians are calculating, they have found that root over -15 was very difficult to identify. Other things to this algebra, okay, they can identify square or cube, they can derive, but when the root has come, they are totally confused and research started. And finally, they derive how to calculate the root overs. So that concept has come. Finally, the great mathematicians, Carl Lewis, he started to reformulated the concept. It is some background how the complex number has come. So some history you should know. In this chapter, in the complex number, the block 2 unit, so we have to study basically the different ways how to represent the complex numbers. Complex, it means the numbers are not in very uh, in a real manner. Means something is there, so that's why you are calling it a complex. So some real part is there and some imaginary part is there. So how to derive the things, that type of numbers? So we have to take some operations, some process are given. So basic algebraic operations of them. There is a one of the way you have to identify. Another some theorem is there, De Morphy theorem is there. Through this way also we can calculate the complex numbers. So okay, that's why putting in some bar, the important portions. This is the two way we have to see it. Swiss mathematician Euler, okay, don't go all these things. I'm just simply tell you your root over minus 1, that is actually uh, imaginary unit. That is the imaginary unit, and it is derived in the 1777. That time it has some Euler mathematician has discovered the things. He denoted in a Greek letter, that is iota, that is I iota, and we have to put a I is equal to root over things. So then after that, some German mathematicians, Carl Guis also some standard calling these things like so many researches going on, and finally we arrived it. Now in this here, -5 plus iota root 7. Here you just try to see it is a complex number. Why it is a complex number? Because 5, okay, integer, no problem. But here actually the root 7, iota root 7, here you just look. Here actually it is totally complex. So it is not a easy, it is some imaginary part is there. So that's why we can combine, you can say it is a complex number. So a complex number, okay. So basic idea I try to give you. Then after that we'll go for the example. So x plus iota y is a complex number. Here you look, x and y are real number. In this case, x and y are the real number, and iota, that is imaginary part. So in this case, you see, if we square it off, then root will goes and is equal to -1. So I square is equal to -1. That you have to mind it. Now that is one of the point you have to remember. Another thing, x plus iota y, x is called the real part. That's I already told. Called the real part, PART part, and is called the, and this part is called the imaginary part. Okay, y part actually, and y is not written anyway. That part, IY part, is the imaginary part. So x is denoted, x is equal to RE, means real, R small e is real, x plus I, actually this is a total complex number. Out of that, x is the real part. Again, in this complex number x plus iota y, where y is the imaginary part. So that's why it is written this way. Which is to be noted, you have to note in the mind, I is not a real number, and x plus iy indicates the real number set of y and not iota y. Okay, you just don't confuse all these things. Simply you remember there are two parts. One is real part, another is imaginary part. Okay, that's enough. And I square is equal to -1. If you remember these things, then during the solution, you will not get a much problem. And normally complex number where generally is a C. So C is equal to, when complex number is equal to, I can say, I can derive this way, x plus iota y, where x, y, this belongs to all our real numbers. In this case, x, y belongs to a real number. This is all a real number, except iota. So however, okay, that is already same thing repeating. And normally, actually, normally we are written as Z, not C. Complex number, okay, in this case, but normally when you are in the solution purposes, when you are calculating all this part, then we can, z is the normally we are written the z. Okay, so z is equal to x plus iy. Some of the books are maintaining the z and some of the books are maintaining the c. So don't confuse, you can put in the z. Most of the books are in z in the complex number, so no problem. So this is the way it is written, and theta in this case, theta are in the rational number, not theta, it is a q actually, sorry, it is a q. Q is a rational number. That already I have written in the top some of the things. Here you see n, z integers, and then rational numbers q, real numbers r. In the top I have given already. So when you now see some of the examples, I can see how to represent it. So which one is the correct example? In this case, you see, always you have to put in 7/9 iota. On 5 is, in this case, 5 plus iota 7/9. So both way it is written, but exactly which is the correct formation? Correct formation is this one. Sorry, and this one. Iota should be after that. So not before. So that's why I keep in note at the time of exam, when you write all this imaginary part, you have to write the iota should be in the after that. So this is the actually the way of we have to write it. So generally, that's why between generally x plus y iota. Then conjugate. Another part is you have to know, that is the conjugate part. Means if you any doubt or clarification is required, you may ask something. You are not understanding, you just tell me in between. I will explain once again, no problem. Anyhow, conjugate is basically the change is the sign on by the multiplication. If I try to clarify here, you just listen. Z is equal to, suppose some of the equation is given complex number x plus iota y, then the complex conjugate z is defined. So that case you see z bar, and here actually it is a plus, now it is a minus, you see it's a minus. So conjugate is basically, it is defined, suppose it is a z, so z bar in the top one line, you have to put one line that z bar is equal to x minus iota y. So this is a conjugate of, this is the conjugate of what? Conjugate of z is equal to x plus iota y. So here actually we are just conjugate the particular this complex number. Then it is real part is z and the imaginary part is z bar. So there are, if we multiply z and z bar, then you will get the complete result. Okay. So complex number here actually, now you see some point I'm given and another part is there. Geometrically also you have to represent it. That is one of the part, complex number. Then it is geometrically also you have to calculate the complex number also. Suppose 3 minus 4i, it is given, the complex number is given. So if I plot it, so it is the x-axis. Suppose this is the x portion, x, and there is a y. If you consider it, so in this diagram you see, so this is the x line, there is the y line. So x, that is 3, you can put it on one line, and 4, that is in the y-axis, you can take a 4. So finally the point is p is equal to 3 and 4, that is the, you can plot it, the p point is the, in this case. But why you are doing this way? For represent the, in this case you see the p dash, suppose the point is p dash, you can say 3 is a minus 4, and in this case it is a minus. So if you conjugate these things, so it will change. So in this case it is a, if you conjugate, then it will be different formation. I think it should be a plus, not minus. If it is changes, then sign is also to be changed. That I will show you in the next solution. Okay. So go for, so how to, there are two, suppose there are two complex number. How to add it? This is the, suppose this is Z1, one complex number, and Z2 another complex number. So how to add the both the complex numbers? So Z1 plus Z2, simply in this case, that is why, so X1 and X2, that is the real part, you can put it in a one bracket, and plus the imaginary part, iota Y1 and iota Y2, that is the, you can separately you can put it. And that is the, actually this is the way you have to add the things. In case of differences, suppose when it is a subtraction part, subtraction, again there are two complex number. So that way also you can, only thing minus Z2 is coming, because the, this part is subtraction, that is a minus. So Z2 part will be the minus. It is symbol, it doesn't mean actually it is a minus only. So you can calculate in this way. So here it will come x1 minus x2 plus iota you can take a common, and y1 minus y2. You see, in this case simply changes, there is also one minus, there is also one minus in the case of subtraction. But in the case of addition, it is simply plus. So here is also plus, here is also plus. So not much change, only sign will change. Now example of additive identity in complex number. So how to add it? There are two complex numbers. So x plus iota y and minus x plus iota y. So z minus z, suppose the value. So simply x, the real part, you put it in the one bracket, and iota is you take a common part, and y minus y. So in this case it is totally 0, because x minus 1 is 0. So totally it is already 0 when the things are coming. Now important is multiplications. So multiplication, there are two complex number. How to multiply? Multiply. So Z1 and Z2, you have to multiply it. So Z1 is x1 plus iota y1, and Z2 is equal to x2 plus iota y2. So other than how it has multiplied, you just look it simply, simple things. So x1 and x2 you have to put in uh, one side, then give a minus y1, y1 and y2 I can put in a other side, plus iota, again same thing, x1 iota, actually here is also iota, here is also iota. Now you can multiply x1 into x2 this side, and again x2 into iota. मतलब iota साथ में मल्टीप्लिकेशन होगा, रियल पार्ट एंड रियल पार्ट इज मल्टीप्लिकेशन, and imaginary part and imaginary part do multiplications. Only thing is here actually see, one case it is a minus, another case it is a plus. That is change at the time of multiplication, you have to careful about it. So this is the formation of for multiplications. Why I am telling you all these things? Basically in this chapter you should know what is the concept of multiplication, addition, subtraction, what is the real part and what is the imaginary part. So all these things will help when you start solution the numericals. Another formation is this is the polar formation, means angle. As you know, the cos theta, sin theta, and all these things. So that is your real part. Cos is always in the x-axis. So x-axis are always in the cos theta. So that is the real part, and sine is the upper y-axis. Sine part is y-axis. So iota is there. So this case, if we put in the polar form, so R1 and R2, there are angle, basically the angle forms. So that case, one of the complex number we can represent in this way, and other one Z2 is another complex number, we can represent in R2 in bracket cos theta 2 plus iota sin theta 2. So there are two formations of complex number. This is we call is a polar formation, means angle is there. Now multiplications in a polar form. So when the one of the complex number z1 and another complex number z2 both are in polar forms, so how to multiply? That is the things. So in this case, you see R1 and R2, both the part are multiply. And here actually there are two part. So first part cos theta 1 plus iota sin theta 1 will come. Then plus another part is here, second part coming here. So all these things just you have to remember and practice. You have to keep somewhere all these steps. Okay. Then you take a common part and simplify the things. I think some mic is on. You just mute the sound is coming. Background sound is coming. Background sound is coming. I think Sujay, okay, just your mic is on. I think you have to off the mic. Sound is coming. Okay. So all these things are to be read out and keep in mind. I just written in another thing is argument. That is the argument part. So again, it is the formation of angle, and constant part is also there. I think it may not be required all time. Some of the examples are required, but even though you just uh, go through this, then some trigonometric relations is also there, trigonometrically also there, cos A plus B sin. Actually, all these things are in the 11th or 12th classes. Those who have already read out, so that will be very easy. So you have to take some books of NCRT books. Everything are given, or you can go through the EU study material step by steps, which I try to show you here. So all these things are sufficient for the numerical part. For to do the numerical part, so all these things are required. So I'm just put in one place. Now division. Another part is division. At the time of division, you see the complex number 5 divided by 3 minus root 2. Okay, that is one of the complex number. Then how to divide it? So rule is there. Here actually conjugate is required. I've shown you the how to conjugate it. At the time of conjugate, basically you have to same thing. You have to multiply into multiply in top and bottom. Same thing. Only the sign has changed. Here you see 3 minus root 2. So here actually it is 3 plus root 2. Same thing. 3 plus root 2. So if we cancel all the things, again it is the same thing. Additionally, we have to multiply it. So multiply the numerator and denominator by the conjugate of the denominators. So straightway first you have to identify in the denominator, that is 5 by root 3 minus root 2. That is the denominator. So what will be the conjugate of this? So conjugate is always sign is changing. So we can say conjugate is 3 plus root 2. So that's why the 3 plus root 2. Here 3 plus root 2. Suppose for example, if I say it is 3 plus root 2, then what will be the conjugate? Then conjugate of the things will be 3 minus root 2. Suppose if it is a minus, then you have to take plus. Other it is a plus, then you have to take a minus. So sign will be changed. Same thing. Again, I am repeating what I mean to say. In this case, you see 5 by 3 minus root 2. So conjugate, when you are taking the conjugate, simply sign has changed. It is a plus and plus. Suppose it is a plus 3 plus root 2, then you have to take 3 minus 3 minus. So that is the only change you have to keep in mind. So conjugate is always changing the sign. So after that it is very easy. You see the multiply 15 plus 5 root 2, and in the bottom it is a square up, so 9, and minus root 2 and minus 2 here actually it is a minus, and root 2 when you square it up, square will be vanished, root and square is vanished, only 2 is coming. How it has come, I have shown you here in the bracket. You see root 2 into root 2, so is equal to root over 2 into 2. So again it is a, we can say root 2 to the power 2. So when I change the root, root is basically 1 by 2 half into that square 2. So 2 and 2 is cross each other, cancel each other. So ultimately 2 is there. So that's why it is coming 2. If any doubt, any students feel any problems, you can ask me. That is a chart. Actually, I have given the chart already, standard formulas chart. There already everything is given. Another thing I would like to say here, actually you see in this chapter there is no such formula is there, only the process you have to know it. If you know the process, operation process, then simply you can do it. Now another example, express 3 minus iota 4 minus 2 iota. It is not, it is iota actually, in the form of x plus y iota. In this form, you have to derive it. So express this thing in the form of, that is your question. First of all, you have to, what will you do it? When you see this type of division part, simply you conjugate it. And as you know, conjugate of what? Conjugate of minus 4 minus 2 iota is 4 plus 2 iota. Now conjugate has changes. It is minus, now it is plus. So denominator and numerator, both the things you have to multiply by 4 plus 2i. So same thing it has done. So you have to into 4 plus 2 iota and 4 plus 2 iota. Then simply you multiply it in the top. So multiply both the things, and here in the bottom and the denominator also you can simply think and LCM. When you calculate, ultimately it will come these things. So this form is already here. So automatically it is coming in this form. Okay. Another question is simplify. Suppose this type of question are coming in the exam basically. 1 minus root over minus 4 divided by 2 plus 9 iota. When you see in the exam paper, only this question, this type of question, straight away you can identify it is a complex number chapter because iota is there, root over is there, so definitely it is a part of.
अरे बोलो लाइट कट गया है
Hello,
आइटम मस्ती देंगे
और कोई कौन है गले खाली गा सकता है
Anmol Kumar, please mute your.
क्लियर है
Anmol, you please mute.
अरे इतना बोला पड़ेगा उन्हें कुछ करो
Anmol Kumar,
आज बोलने चलोगे
please mute your phone.
बोलने
Anmol,
भाई जितना हाँ गाड़ी में पसंद के खरों लगे ठीक किसी को लग रहा ठीक रहे
Anmol Kumar,
पेटे तक
I'm
नहीं बता
requesting you,
सब बोलो तो
please mute your phone.
इतने जगह मुन्नू तोरा भी निकलता टेंशन तो ले सब रहा एक रकम सब रो परिवार
Somebody
में
student call
देने
him
के बोलते हुए नहीं
and
करता
to
हाँ को देरी निकल रही
ज्ञान तो तोरा
tell
भी
him
निकलता
to
ना हो मेंटेन क्या
Sir,
करेंगे
you can mute your from your side.
मेंटेन करते
Mute from your side.
Anmol still is talking.
अंगलियों माँ उन्हें सृष्टि लगा लियो
Maybe by mistake he has
ना वो ठंडा होना
mic is on, I think so.
Sir, you can mute
मेरे
himself.
पास तो फ्रीज है मान लो
फ्रिज ले 14:30
ठीक हो ना, just
Sir, anybody can call him directly to answer,
सही ना.
to stop his
एकदम से ऑटोमेटिक से नहीं चले शो बंद ऐसा कर लाइट बैटरी खा नहीं खा
सर आप उसके उस पे स्क्रीन पे क्लिक करके उसको म्यूट कर सकते हैं.
देखो ऑफ नहीं कर चलो चलो
हाँ आवाज
okay, I just do it because talking and talking. ठीक है. Where we now? Okay. In this case, you see, so there simply you can identify this is the your question paper. The question is from complex number only. Okay. So this type of question is simply you have to conjugate and do it. And what are the result will come? So it your answer. If the 5 number question is coming, 5 marks. So there are maybe 3 or 4 steps you can get it. When you are reaching in this formation, a real and imaginary part, you stop there, no problem. So this is your answer. And another is the polar formation is also like this. So same thing, you have to already I have discussed this is a polar formation. and argument in this theta, angle is always tan inverse y by x. Y is the sine part and x is the cos part. So if we divide by y or divide by x, so you will get the tan parts. That means basically the angle theta. Because when it is a polar form, definitely some angle is be there. So you have to derive the angle also. Now there is an important theorem. It may come in a theory as a theory or in an example also. So theory is nothing. As per this theorem, cos theta plus iota sin theta to the power n, you can derive in this way. So only this thing you have to remember it. Cos n theta plus iota sin n theta. That is the n. You can just multiply n here and here only for any natural number or complex. And angle theta is. So this is the statement basically you have to remember. So theorem part. So considering this thing, the example is there. Suppose if cos theta plus iota sin theta square is equal to x plus iota y, so that you have to show it x square plus y square is equal to 1. So based on this, as you know, cos theta and iota sin theta square, so iota you have to remove it. So if we square it off, then iota will be 1 off, because iota square is -1. Basically it is change, na? That figure will change. When it is squaring up, so only sin theta is there. So iota will be vanish. So that way we can remove the just a minute. Okay, so some call is coming. Anyhow, so I can go for another example. So this part is over now. I can show you some more example. So far, which I have discussed, it is clear or not? What I try to say here, the complex number is basically, just try to simplify you. Here actually what I want to say, that complex number is basically is a combine of two part. One is the real part, another is the your imaginary part. So how to identify the real part is already there, no problem. So you have to identify the imaginary part. When you know the imaginary part, then you combine complete things. You can find out the value. Basically, you will find out the value. So that is the idea. Sometimes real value will not be any problem, because so imaginary part, that also to be converted as a real part. So when you combine all these things, so then your purity will be perfect. Your data will be clear. Your data will be, I can say in other way, computer science, virus is not, there is an impurity. What are the, suppose in the particular one file, where some of the things are correct, some of the things are not correct. Not correct in the sense you don't know. You can imagine. So when you are that imagine part, you are clarifying the things, then are you converted as a real part, then your data will be finally 99% pure. So that is the process. This is the way we are checking this portion. There is a correctness of the data. So complex numbers, that operations are helping to identify the correct value. So for that, some process is there. Which are the process? We can add, how to add it, the technique is there. How to subtract the things, that is a part is there. Basically, the real part and real part you have to combine, and imaginary part you have to segregate it. Then in the case of your division, that time you have to conjugate the things. Conjugate is basically the what is the complex number. You have to multiply top and bottom with conjugate number of particular complex number. If the complex number is minus, sign is there in between, so you have to take a plus. When you are multiplying the things, we are taking the to derive your complex number. So that case you have to conjugate. You take the conjugate of particular things. Only you have to remember it. Sign will change. Suppose in the bottom there are 3 plus root over 5 iota. So you have to take a 3 minus root 5 iota. That only you have to change it. That's all. After that, I've shown you some of the examples, and there are 3 or 4 steps only there. So you can, if you remember what are the things I have already told, that is sufficient. So you can do it the things. So it is clear now. I think of any doubt still, or otherwise I can go ahead for some. I can show you more and more numericals. Hello students, shall I proceed, or if any doubt you can ask? Hello.
Sir.
Bolo. Ajay, if you want to say something.
There is only we can in this part from we can only to simplify that complex number.
Actually, that's why when this type of things are very easy, only you have to multiply by both the side with the conjugate number only. That's all. Then after that, simplify it. What are the result? Result also coming in the form of your real and imaginary part. Is 100%. You cannot remove the imaginary part. Imaginary part will be there, but it is reduced. Some extent it will be reduced.
Okay, sir, I got it.
Because it seems to be the same thing again, but you can reduce the formation of some of the correctness you can get it. Now, say 99% is correct now. Earlier it is 70% incorrect. Now it is 90% correct. That's all.
Okay, sir.
100% purity you cannot do it. Any data in the worldwide you see anywhere. Data management or data analysis, you can slowly understand the things. 100% pure data, you cannot get it. It is your technique how to purify the data. So a lot of techniques are there, and you have to feed during the program. Some things you have to assume that the data is correct, and sometimes you don't know the data is correct or not. So some procedure is there. Through this process, you have to find out. So every chapter is a series and sequence, complex number, matrix, whatever the things are there. There are a lot of ways. So application is different. Okay. And different methods are mathematician, all big mathematicians, they are discovering this way how to calculate the things. It's a different process. Calculus is another process. Next time we have to see the calculus through this way again. Different type of complex, different type of critical things, how to simplify the things. That's basically. Here actually the complex number, why it is being difficult? Because the root over minus 15, root over 3, root over 5, that is the culprit. How to derive these things. That's why that process has come. Otherwise, simply 5 plus 9, 5, anybody can do it. Simple algebra, square it, no problem. Algebraic quadratic equations, not normal, only plus minus this, that's all. When something is new thing are coming, especially in the terms of root, so it is very difficult. So that's why you have to work out. Anyway, so better I can show you some other solution, and that is better. So I can go for see some other solution. So this is your last time it has come. This example are coming in the December 2021. Simple thing. So you can it's a very simple calculation. You see the 5 marks. You can, if you have a question paper last time. Otherwise, I can show you. I have the question paper, I think. But I can show you the question paper where it is. Let me see. Mhm. This is the last BCS-12 Basic Mathematics, December 2021. Latest question paper. That also in the time of matrix we have done it. We have discussed. And yesterday we have discussed this one. If 7 times the 7 terms of AP in equal to, this is also we have done. Very easy, 5 marks, 5 marks. Now the second page, where it is. If this is your complex number, another 5 marks. So this is the questions. This is vector. All are actually what I've seen in the last time exam paper is so easy, coming from all the basic things. You see, there is a 1 plus 4. There's induction, mathematical induction. You see, it's so easy. That also we have solved yesterday. We have discussed. And tomorrow we'll discuss all these things, integration, calculus, whatever. Actually, chapter wise I'm going, what are the chapters are coming, and then particular example I show you, and other paper also. So now these things I can show you in my this one. Same question. I have taken it from the question paper only. So if Z is a complex number such that we have to show these things basically, where the imaginary part is the 0. So you have to show the 0. So it is given, this portion is given. So nothing, Z minus 2 iota and Z plus 2 iota. So we can consider it here actually. The Z we don't know. So Z actually we can consider X plus I iota. So instead of Z, I can write it here X plus iota Y minus this part is same. You got it now? In place of Z actually we have taken it X plus IY. So that Z I can put it here X plus, here actually I take a let Z is equal to this and minus 12. And other side also Z is there. So I can put in place of Z X plus iota Y, and this is plus 2 iota. Then you can multiply it. You can take iota, you can take a common. So in the bracket Y minus 2. Here is also you can take a I common and in bracket Y plus 2. Then simply you multiply it. sorry, then you can square the things. You can square both the side, you can square it. I will tell you why I am putting a square, because we have to go out, that iota should be removed. How to remove these things? Because I know iota square is equal to -1. So if we square it up, then automatically iota will be vanish. So in this case, what happened? X square plus y minus 2 whole square, and that iota square, here actually iota square is -1. So that's why you see here it is a minus now. Now it is gone. Here is also x square gone in this case. So when we square it up, I square means, so both the cases are I square. This is also a square, this is also a square. So both the I square is cross. I mean, anyhow it is a 1 only, so changes. So now only things y minus this part is there and this part is there. Then simply after that you can calculate it, simple algebra, and finally you get it y is equal to 0, because 0 divided by something always 0. So now y is equal to basically the imaginary part. So it is proved, because in the question the imaginary part it is 0. So it is now 0. So your 5 marks. So last time it has come 5 marks. Okay. Similarly, another one is there. This is the given. If this part and this part is given is already, and you find x and y value, you have to derive it from here. Some real part is there, some imaginary part is there. Here you see a is the real part, so no, not much problem. But b are included. B is the imaginary part, and here is y is also imaginary part. So a and x doesn't matter. So we are not very much worried about a and x value, but we have to worried about b, and in this case the y. Okay. But here actually you see x and y value, we have to derive it. So to do so, for deriving the x value and y value, so one real value we have to identify and another imaginary part value we have to derive. So what happened? Now first thing, same thing is written, no problem. Here you multiply it, ax plus then a iota y, a iota y to multiply minus. That means first you take a multiply it with ax, and again a multiply with iy. So this part is okay. Then you take x. So x multiply ib and I square y ib. So this way total multiplication are coming here. In this case, there I and I square. So when you multiplying both the things, left hand side, you will get a 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 things are coming. So left hand part is over. Right hand side is same, no problem. You can keep it same thing. So after the multiplication, now you take a common. You see ax, okay. Here you take this part. Here you see minus symbol is there. So after this ax, you take this part. So -1 is here, minus 1. That I square in bracket we can put it minus 1 because we know I square is equal to iota square, don't say the iota square is equal to minus 1. So we can put a minus 1 and by as it is, no problem. Then plus, here you take a iota is common. You take a iota common. So in the bracket, ay is here. Then minus x b will be there. So bracket close. And right hand side is simple. Basically, you see what we're doing, multiplication and then arranging the things. Only where apply this is apply this formula, I square iota square is equal to minus 1. Only these things we are applying. So before start this solution, why I am discussing all these things, now we can realize why I one by one I have explained in the written form. Addition, deletion, and then your subtraction, multiplication, what the way iota square is coming. So now all these application here. So if you do up to this, then after that no problem, same thing you can do it, repeat it. Then finally you have to make it two equations here. There is one equation and that is another equation. There are two parts. So ax plus by is one part and ay minus xb iota imaginary part is another part. And here, if we see ax plus by is equal to 0, you are taking from this formula, then x is equal to by in the other side, so minus by, and this a will be in the bottom. So x is equal to minus by a. That things we are getting from ax plus by. We are getting x value. Okay, now this x value we can put in the second equation. That x value we can put in here also. So now ay minus x. So x value we can put it here and into b is equal to a square plus b square. Then you solve it. Then finally you have to receive the y is equal to a. That value we can get it. Both the sides is cross. So a value, y value is already you achieved. So x you can receive it and y also over here. Now once you get the y, because here actually see the y is there. So now this y value we can put it here. Because so b a and a is cancel each other. So finally x is equal to minus b. So y is equal to a and x is equal to minus b. So the box, there are two boxes I am putting here. One is y and x. Finally, you have achieved y and x value. And the question, what they want in the question? X and y. So find x and y. We got it. So here is also x and y. The result is coming here. So this is the process. Simply what we did here. Same thing, this is a question. You have to find x value and y value. Same thing we are taking, nothing we have done, only multiplication. Then somewhere we have to see the iota square. So we put the value of minus 1. Then again we have to take a common. And here actually we are making a two equation. One equation we have taken for x value and again put in the second value. Now question is, why you are taking a two equation? Because this is the real part, this is the imaginary part. So we are considering this is one of the real part and that is the imaginary part. Make a two equation and finally you got the result. That is the process. Basically it is all our process. Okay. If in the exam time it is coming, what we will do? First thing simply you have to put it, multiply it. When you received in this formation, so this is the total is one part, real part, ax plus by is the real part, and this is your imaginary part. So we can take separate it by the two equations and make it this way. This is the only thing you have to do it. Okay. So another example, conjugate, as I told you, multiply 3 minus 2 iota by its conjugate. So example I'm giving you, there is a question, multiply 3 minus 2i by its conjugate. Suppose online exam, for example, your multiple choice question is given these things. A, the answer is A. Answer A is 3 minus 2 iota. B, 3 plus 2 iota. C, 2 minus 3 iota, and 4 is 2 plus 3 iota. It is given. So if you know the conjugate is nothing, simply plus 1 sign will change. So 3 plus 2. So this is your conjugate. So this answer will be any option A, B, C. Straight away you can put it which option is correct. So this type of question is useful for your MCQ type online exam. Otherwise, in theory also, I mean in the physical exam also. So required for these things. So finally, these are the product. Now product. This is your things. This is conjugate. That is your complex number. This is the conjugate. So now multiply it, so ultimately 13. Here is also you see iota. Both the iota is there, the iota square. So iota square is minus 1. So minus 1 and minus already there. So already it is a plus. So 9 plus 4. You got, I think, I hope you got it now. Because iota square, if we put it as a minus 1, so that means 9 minus 4 in bracket minus 1. Bracket means multiplication into. So minus 4 into minus 1, ultimately it is a plus. So 9 plus 4 is 13. Again, here is also same thing. This is your complex number 3 minus 2 iota. Actually, there are two alteration process. This process also you can do it, 13. This is another process. To this way also you can prove it. So both the process is correct. If in the exam you can do it this way also, or this alternate process. First you take it z is equal to complex number 3 minus 2i. Then conjugate says simply you put a 1 bar, that z is there, same thing you can put a bar and sign will change. If it is a minus, then it is plus. So now it is a conjugate. So now product of these two, complex number and product of conjugate, that is also product of complex number and conjugate. So then result is 13. Here is also after that z into z bar. So ultimately it is if we do it in z square, so you get it, no problem. So this also you can do, both the processes are correct. Find the conjugate 1 by 3 plus 4, simply then you multiply by 3 minus, in the conjugate is 3 minus. So ultimately if you do it, so 4 by 25, then this is the way you can say it is a conjugate of particular this. Another example is 1 minus iota and 1 plus iota. So complex number, standard formation, then you have to conjugate it also. So this way also it is. I think now you can understand, you can do it, and practice is required. What I am saying is the practice is required. If you do it in your own way, process I already discussed. What are the tips to be remembered, that also I have discussed. If anybody any doubt, you may ask. Then I can go to any other things. Let's see. This is also over. This is also over. This is almost same thing. Just this. Here some of the another processes are there. Same thing is also a part of things. I square means iota square is equal to -1. If iota cube, what will be here? So you see in this case, if iota cube, so first you break it up. Iota square into iota. So iota square you know -1. So it should be a minus. So in this case it is a minus. So minus iota. If iota 4 is there, then you can put it in a, you can break up like this way. So iota square, then further square. So -1 square, so ultimately result is 1. So it is some sort of idea, basic idea. Suppose this is a multiple question I have given. Find the value of expression iota plus iota square plus iota cube plus iota 4. So which one is the correct? Which one is the correct? A, 1, 2, 3, who can tell? You see, just I am giving 2 minutes, 1 or 2 minutes. You think over it and tell me this is which option is the correct. Let's see who can tell. You know the value. Which one is the correct value? As you know, iota square is equal to -1.
0.
So accordingly, you tell me.
0, sir. The option 3.
Let's respond the others. For in this case, -1. In this case, it is just now I discussed here. All the values are here only. This is -1, so you can put it here -1. I is there only. So some standalone, simply iota should be a root over 1. In this case, it is also a 1. Iota cube -1. Sorry, minus iota. Is it not? Because this is -1. So minus iota. This minus iota can be cancel each other here. This is 1 and this is -1. So this is cancel each other. So ultimately option number 3rd. All are agreed or not? How it has come to 0? Hello students. I think who just now who actually answered it? Please name please. Who answered 0?
Me, Ajay.
Ajay.
Yeah.
Okay, just can you explain so that other students should learn to tell me how it has come?
Uh, Iota plus iota square. It is root of iota square is root of
Okay,
minus.
first you see the iota, first is iota, nothing to do because it is simply there. Now,
Yeah.
iota square, we
Uh,
know that is a -1, is it not? So we
yeah.
can write simply -1. Then iota cube,
Uh, that
iota
is
cube how much? We have already derived how much? That is
my
minus iota, is it
minus.
not?
Yeah.
Minus iota. Then it is coming minus iota. And I4, I4 is
Uh,
simply
one.
only 1. So if you write it, then what will be here? I plus -1 plus minus iota plus 1. So if you do it, all are cancelling each other. So finally it is 0. So it is good, Ajay. You are correctly said. Option number 3, 0. Anyhow, that is this is the way I should identify the imaginary quantities, how much theorem is there. I have to multiply it. Small thing actually I have given you. So that is also very important for basic ideas or multiple questions can come here from here. Complex number is also there. Is another way. Example is these things all given. What is the real part? It is already explained. Still, that is how to addition all these things. I think I have already discussed. It is another folder. Same things coming. No problem. There is a conjugate also I have taken. So in the question normally coming are basic things. This is also you have done, no problem. These things are- Yes. This is another question I have given. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 options are there. It is a conjugate. So you can do it right now. 1 or 2 steps only. I can tell me which one is the correct. Now you see in this case that is 3 minus iota. Actually, it is not a 1, it is iota only. So first you conjugate these things and multiply in that with the top and bottom and then see which formation are coming. Do it right now. Okay, it is just like a homework. If you tomorrow you can tell me, so no problem. Note down and do it yourself. So something will come A, B, C, or D. So let's see which one is the correct figure. Tomorrow you will tell me. Let's see. Ajay can do it, no problem. But other students' response is required. And then we can go for some other formations I've given. Okay. Some more example. That is a polar formation. It's simple algebra. Actually, you see, there nothing is critical. Nothing is any new things. Everything you can do it, no problem. Here is also Z1 and Z2 is there, and you can simply calculate it. Find these things. Figure is Z1 and Z2 is given. So you can do it this way. Finally, this is also another polar formation, two-group unity. All are algebra, basically simple algebra functions. Here is something is there, and finally one W square. Actually, 1/1 part is 3 part is there. So we add on 1, then W part is there, and W square part is there. Actually, it is omega, actually, not a W, the omega. 1 plus omega square, basically this things come. Another example is also there. Okay, that I will upload in your group, no problem. So yesterday material and today's material, I think I have given some of the materials already I have given. First 2 classes material already I have given, and balance I will upload. So there, this thing, all these things I have to give you. This is also conjugate another these things. 3 plus 5 iota, 1 plus 2 iota. Again is a conjugate this thing, and you calculate it. Finally, that is your number. You see, there are hardly, if you consider hardly how many steps? 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4 steps. You will get a 5 marks. Nothing is there. 5 marks question. Hardly, I think hardly it is a 2 minute. If you calculate fastly, within a 2 minutes you can get the 5 marks. So easy it is coming. This is little bigger because it is a promotion theta you have to nickel, tan theta is there, so you have to little bit time more. That is also a polar formation. So cos theta and sin theta is there, formula is there. Another formation. Actually, I would like to say you this is the type of question are coming in the exam basically. So you have to practice it 1 or 2 total complex type of things. There are maybe 7 to 8 types. You can do it. So that is sufficient. At least slightly figure will change. Otherwise, the type will be what I am showing. This is only the. These all are based on the question paper only. Last 4-5 years question paper. So all are this type of question are coming, and in future also it will be coming like this. So don't worry about it. You have to practice it, and this is the very important formula. Apply the De Morgan time these things. It has come several times. Every alternate year, I think I have seen last 6 to 7 years question paper. There are 10 to 12 semester. So this type of thing always will come. It is very, very important. De Morgan theorems is very important. You have to prove it, or maybe some solutions. So always it is coming. So you have to do it like this. And this type of expression, I think it is in the polar formation. Otherwise, in the conjugate formation, definitely it will have a very important part. These all are coming in the polar formation only. Polar formation nowadays is very less. Still, it is a syllabus, so you have to do it at least 1 or 2 polar formation. Okay. So I hope almost the particular these units I have covered up most of the things. So nothing is extra there. So I think I have shown all these things part. Another, let's see which one. This is what is it is also polar, I think. Oh, it is some important formula. So you can keep it. and during the preparing your things, it will be very easy. So that chart also I have to give it to you. It is only single page chart, different sign, real and imaginary part. So this way you can remember it. So this way, I think if it is coming in this type of solution, then this chart will be helpful. Otherwise, it is not required everywhere. It's only the polar form. You see, suppose the polar form nowadays it is coming very less. Polar form are not coming complex, no, but it doesn't mean because it is within the syllabus. So you should at least one or two polar form example you have to do it. So that time this chart may help you. Okay, so I will upload this chart and you can share along with the students. So this way this chapter is so okay, fine. So now I can close these things. Before close the sharing mode, if any doubt, you tell me. Any students, any doubt or particular? Shall I repeat some of the things or not? You would fully understand? Nobody's answering, so I don't know. So it is clear or not? Any doubt? हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, सब चुपचाप है, क्या बात है? कुछ तो बोलो, समझ पे आया कि नहीं है? अब इट इज क्लियर है नॉट? Is all are in listening mode and you have decided not to speak anything, huh? How can I understand if people have understand or not? अच्छा, चैट बॉक्स में आप लोग अपना अपना रोल नंबर सब दे दिए ना? Shall I check it and take the copy of these things? Roll. आज मैम का क्लास हुआ था ना मॉर्निंग में, 5 इवनिंग में?
Yes, sir.
हुआ ना? ओके. समझ पे आया ये कॉम्प्लेक्स नंबर का? कुछ डाउट है तो बताओ. Yes, tell me. ठीक है, चैट बॉक्स में जो था मैंने सेव कर लिया. नाउ इफ एनी स्पेसिफिक डाउट, I think around 9:32 is there. Ajay, any doubt is there? Ajay KS. So tomorrow is another important, that is equation and inequalities. So that is also important chapter. So please you go through the chapter, and so that it will be more interactive. There are also 5 marks question and 3 to 4 steps. Every numericals are 3 to 4 steps only. So if you practice it, then I think it's not a much problem. So okay, anyway, if any no doubt are there, so we can close the session now, and tomorrow as usual you can start the session. So, or in the, if any doubt you can write in the chat box. I can take it, no problem. If any specific doubt, I think still some of the students are writing something in the chat box. So I think once again. So next Monday, Saturday, Sunday is off. So Monday I'll take some test. Test means some type of mock test I'll take. Hopefully up to Friday. So around 50% syllabus will be covered up, because block 1 and block 2 complete. So then I will take some mock test. So maybe 20 minutes or 25 minutes. There are maybe 10 to 15 questions, optional type. That type of option will be given, and you have to give a test. So whatever I discuss, same thing. Based on this, you have to answer it, and on spot you have to give a answer. And it may be different. I can ask one by one, otherwise I will display the questions and give the options, and then you have to answer it. Maybe I will give it some 2 minutes or 3 minutes. So within this time frame, you have to, in the chat box, you can write your roll number and name, and I will record it automatically. So who can give a correct answer? Only answer you have to write option number 1, question number 1, option 2 or 3, whatever the correct answer. That way you have to write in the chat box. When I ask somebody, then you have to write in the chat box. Suppose, for example, if I say Rahul, so Rahul will tell me the particular answer and write in the chat box, yes sir, this is the option number 2 is the correct answer. Fine. Then I may ask some, Dhania. Dhania, please tell me these questions. It will be displayed in the sharing mode and option will be there. You have to say. That way, I will ask some of the random process, some of the questions, and you have to answer it. Or otherwise, I can display all the questions at a time. 5 questions, five questions. 5 questions, I will give 7 to 8 minutes, whatever it is. You have to options directly you can WhatsApp me. In my WhatsApp number, you have to say this is the answers so that the chat box other students should not know which your answer, because वो सुन के लिख देगा ना, और क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 का आंसर देखते हैं, वेट करते हैं क्या लिखते हैं, चैट उसमें देखता हूँ, सो देख के दूसरे भी डाल देगा. तो बेटर क्या है, आप इंडिविजुअली यू कैन सेंड मी in the WhatsApp itself, then it will be recorded in my cases. So I have to see who can get a more score. So that way I can identify Ajay how much score he has done, Anurag how much he can score it. So this way I have to take some small test and it will be very interesting, I can tell you. And you also prepare for the exam itself. It doesn't mean these marks will be added somewhere. No, it is for the practice only. So don't worry about it. Everybody should participate in the mock test. Then you also know where you are now, okay, and how much hard work is required. So from the matrix up to Friday, whatever the chapter will complete, so I will prepare some of the questions from the particular this unit. And Monday, in the first of all, in the last, after the Monday classes, maybe I can start in the initially, or otherwise around 9:30 something, I can start. Maybe it is from the 8 to 8:30 or 9:30 to 10. That way I have to decide what time the timing is the good time. Then I can, that I will Friday I will tell you. Okay. So be prepared of these things. So a mock test is important for you only, not for me. Is it not? So then accordingly you have to go ahead. It is agreed or not? Everybody are agreed? Very easy. Whatever I have discussed, same question will come. I will not give you from the other things. Whatever my material, you will get. You can see it's so easy. I think everybody will do it. You can score everybody. No problem. Already I have discussed some of the MCQ questions. Already I have discussed. From there also it will be there. No response. So test नहीं लेना क्या? Why is everybody are silent? Nobody is sounding. I mean, anybody? I am audible or not? Are you hearing what I am saying? Hello, Anurag is there?
Sir.
No response. Why? Anurag, what happened? People are not agreeing with me. Mock test ठीक रहेगा ना?
Sir.
Sir, क्या? Yes or no? I would like to know yes or no.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Then any other? Deepak, you are here? Okay, anyway, I think another 2 days are there. Let's see. If you are not interested, you people, then I cannot take the mock test. But it will be better for you people only. Okay. If you take a more time, that's why I'm telling you in advance. So Monday I will discuss about the different type of questions, and answer is also there. And at the end of the test, I will give the answer also. No problem. So answer will be there. Only to make you the preparation for the preparation purposes only. Okay. So now, okay, I think if in any queries nothing is there, then I can stop the session right now. Shall I close the session?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anyway, I think if it is not further any question, I mean any queries, then I can stop the session right now, and we can tomorrow again we can meet it. Okay. Okay. Good night. Good night, everybody.
Good night, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Now I
Thank you, sir.
थैंक यू थैंक यू अभी तो थैंक यू तो आ रहा है थैंक यू का आवाज तो आ रहा है सबका किसी को बात है चल छुटकारा मिल गया है आज का दिन ऐसे लग रहा है नाउ पीपल हैव सही में एक्चुअली